Purpose is nothing else but the intersection of your problems and your gifts. So where your gift and your problems meet, that's what we call your purpose. Hi, amazing people. Welcome back to High Performance. This is me, Michael Tsepotabani, your host for the High Performance Show. This is one of our Monday motivation segments or episodes, however you'd like to call it. Today, I would like to talk to you about something that I promised you. I think it was on the third or fourth video, if I'm not mistaken, where I was telling you guys that, I will one day do a series on the pillars of self-identity. Or pillars of identity, so to say, and then I made this promise that I will do that series for you. So this pillars of self-identity is one of the things that I actually spent some time on when I was busy doing, our mentorships with my mentees. So and then I created this program that I called the Anatomy of Excellence. And in the Anatomy of Excellence, anatomy, remember, is nothing else but the biological building blocks of something, okay? So then in the Anatomy of Excellence, I mentioned that we're gonna have, there are about two main important parts of the Anatomy of Excellence. And one of those parts is the pillars of self-identity. If you don't have a deeper understanding of self, then you will actually struggle to be excellent in what you do, because you do not really know who you are, what makes you click, what are the things that you like, what are things that you dislike, so on and so forth. So what happened now, it is that now I came up with this thing that I called the pillars of self-identity, because if you want to understand yourself, what are the things that you can focus on, look into, the things that are shaping the person that you are. So then I came up with 5. Maybe they will increase as time goes on. But number 1 is your beliefs or your belief systems. Number 2 is your environment. Number 3, it is the relationships that you are in. Number 4 is purpose. And then the thing is that, I'll mention number 5. So this they are not in any particular order, but these are just the important things that you will need to actually consider when actually, looking into who you really are. The 5th one that I forgot to mention in the past, in the first 4 that I mentioned, was your spiritual orientation. So I'm going to repeat them. Your beliefs, your spiritual orientation, your relationships, your environment, and your purpose. I believe these 5 things are the pillars of self-identity. So if you know most of these things, or if you are in tune with these 5 things that I mentioned, chances are that you are very, very, very much in touch with who you really are, or you are actually on your way there to finding out exactly who you are. So what is that I want to talk about today from these 5 things? The one that I would like to talk about today is the one of purpose. Your purpose. So purpose is something that has been studied quite a lot. So there are a number of teachers, out there, spiritual teachers, your coaches, and all these kind of teachers who are out there, right? Who have been teaching about this thing of purpose. Is a very, 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 very important topic and a very big subject on its own. So since we are in high performance, I would like to talk about purpose within the frame of performance. How can your purpose help you become better or excellent at what you actually do? Maybe let's start at definition, level. So what is purpose? Like I said, there are a number of teachers who have taught about it, but I would like us to delve into this definition that I love so much. Purpose is nothing else but the intersection of your problems and your gifts. So where your gift and your problems meet, that's what we call your purpose. So then what does that mean? That means that one of the most important ingredients of you finding your purpose is chaos and challenges that you face in your life. In other words, you can never find your purpose outside the periphery of things that matter to you. If you are looking for your purpose, you want to know what your purpose is, never look for it outside the confines of the things that are important to you. In life, we have this thing, like in psychology, they have this thing, they call it the orienting reflex, an orienting reflex. An orienting reflex is the internal GPS, is the thing that orients you to the thing that matters most to you. That is why even if 100 things can go wrong around you, there's about 5 or 6 or 10 that will actually get your attention. Why is that? Ask yourself why in a chaotic situation, even if there are 50 things out of line, but you will actually notice 2 or 3 or 4 of them. Why is that? That is simply because there's an orienting reflex in you. The thing that says to you that, hey man, look at these 4 things, because there is something in you that can actually do something about those things. So it is something calling you to you. You know what I mean? It's like orienting reflex is this thing that helps you or to have an idea of the things that you should be paying attention to, because of you are biologically imbued to solve those specific things. But certain things won't get your attention because of your orienting reflex knows that you are not equipped for those ones. There are certain things that we call things that are within the cycle of your concern and things that are within the cycle of your influence. A friend of mine actually said this to me. There are things that are within the circle of your influence, things that are within the circle of your concern. The things that are within the circle of your concern, it means that these are the things that you're concerned about. You know, they worry you to a certain extent, but you can't influence them. And there are certain things that are actually within the circle of your influence. These are the things you can do something about. And now the question is that if these are the things you can do something about and there are other ones you can't do anything about, what do you do then? Because of these ones, you are concerned about them. All it means is that you must make sure that you have more things. You focus more on the things that are within the circle of your influence and a little on the things that are on the circle of your concern. And I was talking about purpose. So normally your purpose is actually geared towards the things that are within the circle of your influence, not the circle of your concern. Because purpose is about, why am I doing this thing? And then for who am I doing it for? And then you can't answer that question if you are focusing on the things that are just within the circle of your concern. You must also focus on things that are within the circle of your influence, because that addresses the talents you have, the skills you have to actually become useful to that specific situation. So then, in closing, what I'd like to say to you, it is that if you want to be a high performer, it's very important that you pay attention to the things that matter to you. Stop this thing of actually solving problems because of their trending or because of they're going to make you look like a better person, whatever the case might be. Solve problems that are important to you, that matter to you, that after they are solved, your life will be different in a certain way. That they will actually make a certain difference in your life after you actually solve them. Not everything that worries you or everything that you're concerned about should be solved by you. No, not everything. Other things, there are people who are better equipped to actually solve certain problems, and you're also better equipped to solve certain problems. Make sure that you focus on the problems that are actually important to you, that matter to you. Remember what I said? Your purpose is nothing else but the intersection of your problems and your gifts. There are certain talents, there are certain skills that you have, there are certain temperaments that you are actually born with, so to say, that are actually going to be useful in you solving the problems that you face in your life. And like I said, if it's an intersection between your gifts and your problems, then it means it's very important that you do not run away from the problems and the challenges that you face in life. Plato, the philosopher, he said this. He talks about this concept called, I think it was Plato or Socrates. It was Plato, actually. He said that there is this thing we call eudaimonia. Eudaimonia, it means the ultimate good life. He said life or ultimate good life, or the life of fulfillment, so to say, or an ultimate good living. He said, in order for you to get to that ultimate good living, You don't get there by having a life that is free from challenges and problems. He said that actually, if we were to remove all the problems from your life and give you a life of bliss where there's everything at your disposal, he said you will actually be stressed to death because of there wouldn't be anything in your life to overcome. That's very interesting if you think about it. For the fact that you don't have anything to overcome, everything is just thrown at you, it will actually stress you to death. That's very interesting, because a lot of us think that, no, I don't want the problems, I don't want this, I don't want that. But actually, it has been proven a number of times from scientific research that if you don't have anything to overcome, you'll actually be more stressful. Give you an example. So they've proved that, most welfare systems, that's like, you get the food, you get the housing, you get everything. Most welfare systems, they are responsible for more suicides than any oppressive system has ever produced in history. That's a very interesting fact. Because what's happening now in oppressive systems is that people, they have something to conquer. They have something that they want to fight against. The same thing that happened in the Auschwitz camps. If you think about Dr. Viktor Frankl, one of the guys who wrote the book called Men in Search for Meaning. He said the same thing. He said, most of us who survived the Holocaust survived it because of we believe that our existence was attached to something meaningful. And that's what I want you to know today, guys, to say that whatever it is that you do in your life, in order for you to perform the way you want to perform, you must realize that your existence is attached to something meaningful. Don't run away from your problems. Remember the concept of Plato, eudaimonia. You get to the ultimate good living if you do not run away from the things that you need to overcome. If there's nothing to overcome, then it means your life will be meaningless. And things to overcome, you don't search for them. They actually introduce themselves to you. You don't have to think hard about the things that worry you. You don't have to think hard about the things that actually causes you sleepless nights. So yeah, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. So remember to follow us on our social media platforms, High Performance, and then the links are down here. Please follow us, help us grow the channel, and then so that you don't miss out on any of the episodes that we'll be issuing out. Thank you so much. Michael Sapotabani signing out from High Performance.